Hold on before your next fill-up, because the mistake 9 out of 10 drivers make right before pumping fuel is silently wrecking their engine, damaging expensive sensors, and creating a genuine fire hazard at the pump. And here's what nobody tells you. Over 90% of motorists repeat this same error weekly, convinced they're being efficient or protecting their vehicle, when in reality they're slashing its lifespan by tens of thousands of miles. A retired petroleum systems engineer called it the single costliest blunder committed at filling stations nationwide. In this breakdown, I'll reveal precisely what you must avoid before refueling, the technical reasons it destroys engines from the inside out, and the proper fueling sequence that automotive engineers and fuel scientists actually follow. Stay through to the final point. It could genuinely stop your vehicle from igniting during a fill-up. Error 1. Keeping your motor running during refueling. Sounds like common sense, right? Yet National Fire Protection Association statistics show roughly 1 in 10 motorists pump gas while their engine idles. Here's the problem. Gasoline fumes are denser than air. They descend and collect near the nozzle opening. With your engine operating, the alternator, radiator fan, and spark system create miniature electrical discharges and hotspots capable of igniting those fumes under specific conditions. Even more concerning, today's vehicles with evaporative purge circuits can activate vapor intake mid-refuel, drawing raw gasoline vapor directly into the air intake and overwhelming the fuel mixture, which may cause unstable idling or complete engine shutdown after you finish pumping. Running engines and gasoline vapors don't negotiate. They explode. The solution? Shut down your engine entirely before inserting the nozzle. Allow at least 10 seconds post-shutdown for vapor pressure to equalize before twisting off your fuel cap. Never leave ignition in accessory position. It continues energizing certain fuel sensors vulnerable to vapor interference. You're not simply preventing fires, you're protecting injectors, your charcoal canister, and oxygen sensors from vapor saturation. Error 2. Adding extra fuel after the automatic shutoff clicks. This surprises most people because a few extra cents seems harmless, but continuing to pump after that first click is among the quickest paths to evaporative system failure, a circuit engineered to capture and reuse fuel vapors. Every modern automobile since 1996 employs a charcoal canister capturing vapors to prevent atmospheric release. When you overfill, liquid gasoline floods that canister. What follows? The charcoal saturates and clogs. Vapor circulation breaks down. Your check engine warning illuminates. Fuel calibration and idle smoothness deteriorate. And here's the expensive part. Once that canister fails, replacement runs $500 to $1,200, and most dealerships void warranty coverage if they discover chronic overfilling. The correction: stop when the pump clicks once. That click triggers via a vacuum sensor detecting complete tank capacity. Anything beyond forces liquid where only vapor belongs. Error 3. Removing the fuel cap too quickly. Such a basic motion, twist and pull. But rushing it can genuinely harm your fuel circuit. After your car sits or operates in warm weather, the fuel tank pressurizes. Yank that cap off rapidly, and pressure equalizes violently, forcing vaporized fuel straight into your evap lines, or worse, into your breathing zone. This abrupt pressure shift also confuses the tank pressure sensor, potentially logging false evaporative leak codes, P0455 or P0456. Proper technique: slowly rotate the cap counterclockwise until you detect a soft hiss. Pause 2 seconds for pressure normalization, then completely remove the cap. It's minor, but it's exactly what professional technicians and fuel chemists practice when servicing test vehicles. Error 4. Handling your mobile device while pumping. You've noticed the warning placards, no cellular phones. But why exactly? It's not the radio signal, it's static electricity discharge. When you touch your phone, your body accumulates static charge, especially in arid climates or when wearing synthetic fabrics. Combine that with gasoline vapors and a metal pump handle, and you've assembled the perfect ignition scenario. According to Petroleum Equipment Institute documentation, over 150 confirmed static-related fires occurred at service stations between 2000 and 2022, nearly all involving motorists who re-entered vehicles or handled phones during fueling. Better practice: leave your device inside your car throughout refueling. Always contact a metal surface of your vehicle, like the door edge, before touching the nozzle, discharging static safely. If you absolutely must use your phone, step away from the fuel dispenser first. Even when ignition risk appears minimal, static can disrupt your car's network sensors, transmitting false electrical signals that interfere with evap purge or fuel calibration readings mid-fill. Error 5. Disregarding the octane rating label. Regular is regular, correct? Absolutely not. Not all 87-octane fuels are identical, and selecting the wrong octane or ethanol concentration can quietly destroy injectors and fuel pumps over time. High-output engines requiring 91-plus octane rely on knock sensors to prevent pre-ignition. Feed them budget 87-grade fuel and the computer retards timing, reducing output and depositing carbon on piston crowns. Conversely, using premium in an engine designed for regular won't boost power. It can actually worsen fuel atomization in low-compression motors, causing rough running. Then there's the ethanol variable. E10. 10% ethanol works fine for most vehicles, but E15 and E85 can deteriorate rubber seals and injectors in systems not engineered for them. The reliable guideline: follow your fuel door or owner's manual precisely, not whatever's cheapest. Avoid blending different octane levels in one tank. For long-term storage, choose ethanol-free or stabilized fuel to prevent varnish and gumming. Remember, octane isn't about horsepower. It measures resistance to premature detonation. Wrong fuel grade means your computer fights itself constantly. That's how performance quietly dies. Error 6. Operating on fumes before refilling. Here's a blunder nearly every driver commits: allowing the fuel gauge to drop below empty before visiting a station. You might think you're maximizing your fuel budget, but what you're actually doing is starving your fuel pump, the cardiovascular system of your fuel delivery. Modern fuel pumps are electric and cooled by surrounding fuel. When you drive on a nearly depleted tank, the pump encounters air pockets instead of liquid fuel, causing it to overheat, and gradually, the internal metal windings begin failing. According to Bosch Automotive Engineering Research, regularly operating below quarter tank increases fuel pump deterioration by over 60%. Once that pump dies, you're facing $600 to $1,300 in service costs, all from one extra day running on empty. Better approach: always refuel when your indicator reaches 1/4 capacity. In summer, this prevents vapor lock. In winter, it stops condensation accumulation that introduces water into your fuel. That simple discipline keeps your pump cool, your injectors lubricated, and your budget intact. Error 7. Refueling immediately after delivery truck service. You arrive at a station and spot a large tanker truck transferring fresh fuel into underground storage. Most people think, perfect timing, fresh supply. But here's reality. That's the absolute worst moment to refuel. When tanker trucks fill underground reservoirs, they agitate sediment, moisture, and corrosion particles settled at the bottom. These contaminants remain suspended in fuel for hours. Pump immediately afterward, and all that debris gets drawn straight into your tank, and from there into your injectors and filters. The Automotive Petroleum Institute discovered that engines refueled within 2 hours of station delivery exhibited 27% higher particle contamination in their filters. The prudent rule: if you observe a tanker at the location, wait at least 4 to 6 hours before fueling, or choose another station. Use locations with modern filtration infrastructure and high customer volume, like busy interstate stations. Their tanks stay cleaner. Clean fuel isn't about cost, it's about timing. Error 8. Pouring additives immediately before filling. Fuel system cleaners and octane enhancers can be beneficial, but only when used correctly. Adding them at the wrong moment or an incorrect sequence can neutralize their effectiveness or even harm your injectors. Here's the chemistry. Most additives require direct contact with existing fuel to blend properly. Pour them in right before refueling and the incoming gasoline churns, causing the detergent to foam. That foam traps oxygen, leaving the additive unevenly distributed and less potent. Some additives even contain polyetheramine, PEA, which reacts with raw oxygen at the fuel nozzle and creates sludge if exposed excessively. Best practice: always pour additive just before your next drive, not immediately before fueling. Let the additive integrate naturally as you operate the vehicle. That's when it activates. Select products from established laboratories like Chevron Techron, BG44K, or Liqui-Moly, not random convenience store bottles. Even a $10 mistake here can reduce injector longevity or obstruct the high-pressure rail on direct injection power plants. Error 9. Positioning incorrectly at the dispenser. This concerns fuel nozzle geometry and air displacement. Every automobile's filler neck includes a vent tube allowing air escape during tank filling. Park at an angle where the filler neck sits elevated above the tank and air becomes trapped inside. The automatic shutoff clicks prematurely even though your tank isn't full. You wind up losing up to half a gallon each fill-up, paying for airspace instead of liquid fuel. The trick? Always position so your fuel door sits level or slightly below the opposite side. Avoid sloped pump stations or curbside dispensers that tilt your vehicle. Professional drivers and fleet managers have utilized this secret for years. That's how they extract maximum mileage from every tank. Error 10. Failing to secure the fuel cap properly. This might sound trivial, but it's among the top 5 triggers of the dreaded check engine illumination. A loose or inadequately sealed fuel cap permits oxygen infiltration into the system, disrupting evap pressure measurements. Your vehicle's computer interprets this as a vapor leak and immediately triggers an emissions alert. Even worse, that unsealed vapor escape wastes volatile fuel molecules, meaning your car literally evaporates gasoline into atmosphere. The correct method: tighten your fuel cap until you hear at least 3 distinct clicks. If your vehicle has a capless filler system, maintain the flap clean and debris-free. Replace your fuel cap every 5 years or 60,000 miles. The rubber seals degrade. This tiny 5-second action can save you from unnecessary diagnostic expenses. Bonus insight: don't trust the distance to empty display. Your dashboard's range to empty readout isn't precise science. It's a rolling calculation based on your recent driving patterns. So when it displays 30 miles remaining, that doesn't guarantee exactly 30 miles before you're stranded. It could be inaccurate by as much as 10 to 20 miles. Operating that close to empty forces your vehicle to draw air, sediment, and moisture from the tank bottom, precisely where all contaminants settle. Better habit: treat your quarter tank indicator as your empty warning. Don't gamble with those final miles. It's the dirtiest and most damaging fuel your vehicle will ever consume. Appreciate you watching until the conclusion. A vehicle's power plant isn't merely machinery. It's part of our daily journey, our obligations, and sometimes even our cherished memories. If today you discovered something valuable, if you thought, yes, I can maintain my car better now, then that's precisely what Wines of Thought exists for. At EngineIQ, we're not just distributing tips. We're working to make your driving safer, smoother, and longer lasting. If this breakdown helped you in any capacity, please hit that like button and subscribe, because one small subscription today might prevent your vehicle from a major problem tomorrow. See you in the next breakdown. Take care of yourself and your machine.